Om Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gaganasadarsham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarehitam Satgurum Om Trambakam Majamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Shanti Shanti. So, शिवरात्रि अभी थोड़ा आगे आने वाली है. हम धुनी पे बैठेंगे और कुछ करेंगे. अब तक सुबह में एक सत्संग हुआ. मैंने आपको मॉर्निंग देयर वाज अ सत्संग एंड आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट उज्जैन एंड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ द महाकालेश्वर स्वयंभुलिंगा, ऑल्सो अ ज्योतिर्लिंगा. ये मैंने आपको आई ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड विथ यू. I will not go back and repeat it. I know there are some people who will just come. Should I? No. Save time. So, I kind of referred to the Panchakshara. Whenever you go and sit near a Shivling, especially if it's a Swayambhu Linga, there are two ways of chanting the Shiva Panchakshara. Well, you can also do it when there is no Linga around, because you already carry a Linga on your Sahasrara, the smaller one in the Hridaya. So, not necessary that this, but it will compound the effect of your evolution if you do it sitting before a proper real Jyotirlinga, not hewn by human hands, but which has come by itself. Now, as I described to you the Panchakshara, since all other things you can read, you can understand, this you may not get in a book. It comes in the Shiva Shastras, comes in some of the great texts of Gorakhnath, like the Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati. In what is called the Shivaraj Yoga, which is practiced in one section of South India in Tamil Nadu. What we do, don't do anything now, please, I'm just, not the Kriya session. Sit in a comfortable place, as described in the Gita, neither too high nor too low. There is no fear of scorpions and snakes, and where you are protected from the vagaries of nature. Sit in a comfortable posture. In yoga, when we mean a comfortable posture, it means that you are well balanced, the body is well balanced. Sthira Sukham Asanam is all that is said in the Yoga Sutras, which means any posture where you get sukha for a length of time is your asana. So sit in a comfortable posture. Then do a few rounds of Anulom Vilom. Those who chant the Gayatri know that before you chant, you breathe in here, and you breathe out here, you breathe in here, you breathe out here. This is the Anulom Vilom, which means you breathe in from here, close, breathe out. In, breathe out. This is Anulom Vilom. Now, when you do this, now I'm going to, you may not have read anywhere, I'm going to give you something, please take it home and don't start teaching, setting up shop. When you breathe in through the left first, in your mind, mentally chant these sounds. Om, Vam. I'm giving you for the first time. Last Shivaratri also, you can only open layer by layer. You are breathing in through the Ida. You are saying in your mind, Om, Vam. Shut this. Breathe out through the right. Vayanamashi, which is a manipulation of the Panchakshara. It is Namashivaya Vayanamashi. You got it? There are innumerable combinations of the Shiva Panchakshara used for various purposes, for deep meditation, Akarshana, Mohana, Uchchadana, Bhedana, Marana. Let's not touch that chapter. Now, so, here, Om, Vam, in breath. Out breath, Vaya Namashi. Do this 9 times, in and out. Then, sit straight. As described in the Gita, keep your spine straight, your head and your neck in the same line. And then chant Om Namah Shivaya. Start from the top and go down. Om Namah Shivaya. So in your Muladhara is not like the Bijaksharas we did for Kriya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Right? Then go up. Vaya Namah Shi Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Vaya Namah Shi Om. Do this a few times. You know the meaning of the word Shivam? One is Ananda, the other is Aishwarya, auspiciousness. How do you translate auspicious? Not Aishwarya, Aishwarya is splendor. Mangalam is all good things. Prasannata, prasada. Amit Shah, what? Pavitra. Pavitra, okay. So, Shivam by itself is auspiciousness. Now this combination of Bijaksharas that you use attracts that auspiciousness and happiness into yourself and also broadcasts it to the outer world. Yogis sitting quietly in the middle of the jungle also practice it. Yogis who are wandering around in busy places also practice it, because it helps you to maintain your balance in the midst of all circumstances. It builds up the strength of the Shivam inside you and manifests it outside. It puts energy into the Trishul. See the Trishul? What is the shape of the Trishul? What is the shape? what do you see here? And what do you see here? And what do you see here? This is the Shushumna. And this is the Pingala and the Ida. The two. So when the yogi symbolizes the Trishul, it's the spinal cord, the Shushumna. And usually you'll see there's a Damru tied here. In Shiva also, there's a little Damru tied. Ramaru is the internal sound that you hear when your Ida Pingala is balanced and your energy is rising in the Shushumna through the middle. In practical ways in life, you may, if you feel threatened or disturbed or troubled by any forces inside or outside, visualize a beautiful shivling in front of you. Don't turn it this way. That's not our job. Visualize it in front of you like a protection. Hold it there and chant the mantra Om Mahashivaya Namaha. The other combination. Om Mahashivaya Namaha. Om Mahashivaya Namaha. Hold it in front of you. So any danger threatens you when you are going in an auto, chant Om Mahashivaya. The driver might leave you and run away, but it's okay. So, these are some of the secrets of the Panchakshara. I'm saying this because we are sitting near a Jyotirlinga in Ujjain with Mahakal. So, the importance of such places should always be kept in mind. Don't say, I'm a Kriya yogi, I'm meditating, why should I come to these places? All this, why am I worshipping? I think somewhere along the line it was Macaulay who introduced these ideas into our heads. Need to get it out. You know about Maharishi Macaulay? On the one hand, Max Muller was doing wonderful things, and on the other hand, Macaulay was rewriting Indian history. So, such places are important. You can worship Shiva as your own inner self, but wherever there is a manifestation like this, you should give due respect to it and bow your heads down. It increases the circulation in your brains. Please bow your heads down. And sit down and chant the mantras which are required. I hope I am clear on this. Okay. Now, the great mantra which many of us know, which we chant, only when we come into danger we chant this, otherwise we don't. The Mahamrityunjaya mantra. It's interesting. Om, of course, is the beginning. Om. Trayambakam yajamahe. I worship. Yajamahe. I worship, I sacrifice. I bow down to, I do vandana to the Trayambak. Trayambak is the three-eyed one. Oh, we are only two eyes, right? We don't have three eyes, we have only two eyes. So three-eyed one is Shiva. If you see the diagrammatic presentation of Shiva, even in a linga, in the middle there is one eye there. Right? So this eye is the Ajna Chakra. The portals of the divine regions of the Sahasrara open through the ajna. This is the symbol. So while you look at Shiva with third eyes, remember all of us potentially have three eyes. Now we have only two. But if we can manage to shut these and spend some time fixing your attention on the ajna, then the thing called then nothing, you won't see any eye popping out between the forehead, between your eyes. But there is an inner opening that takes place, which is called the jnana drishti, with which you can see things which you normally cannot see. So if in somebody it is open, in case, you can't see it, no? There is no symbol or sign. It's open. Don't go before such a person and tell lies. He may not say that you are lying, he or she, but he can see everything like a filter. Because the other eye is working. You can't flatter, you cannot fool. It's nice to see beautiful smiles, but can't be flattered. So this is the third eye, and when one sees with this eye, yogi, through the practice of Kriya, through the practice of mantra japa, the practice of meditation, to some extent, this way or that way, this eye becomes active. To some extent, not fully. This is the Ajna Chakra. So, Om Trayambakam, to that three-eyed Supreme Shivam, the Lord of the universe, the beginning of the universe, the end of the universe, I bow down to, or I perform the sacrifice, Yajamahe, Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam, whose quality is fragrance, and Pushtivardhanam, increasing of one's strength, Pushti. Pushti is not only here, okay? Pushti. Pushtivardhanam. But look at any image of Shiva, you hardly see anything here. Look at Babaji's picture. I always wanted to be like that, I could not. So, Pushtivardhanam also means not only physical pushti, but also astral, Shushma pushti, Shushma pushti, which means strength of mind, strength of your subtle body, linga sharira. The subtle body is also called the linga sharira. And pushti to your inner strength, pushti to your capacity to fix your attention exclusively on one thing, which is what many of us lack. You're going this way, suddenly then you go off the tracks, somewhere else. And it's very easy to derail somebody, who is walking on this path. Very easy. You're going, the train is going, you just have to show something through the window and it's gone. You will get down at the next station and never go back again to the train. So, Pushtivardhanam. Urvarukamiva bandhanan. Just as the pumpkin, when it is ripe, automatically disattaches itself from its connection to the stem. Urvarukamiva bandhanan. Mrityor mukshiyam amritat, separate me forever from death. Mrityor mukshiyam amritat, may I be free, just like the pumpkin that becomes ripe, falls off from the stem and dissociates itself from the stem altogether. In the same way, may I be disassociated from death forever and be free. Therefore, because death is mentioned, people usually chant it just when they're about to die or to protect themselves from accidents and things, which is all fine. But actually what it means is to understand and realize that the inner being of ours is none other than the immortal, at least an amsha, a small part. Let's not get too ambitious. A small amsha of that supreme, all-pervading Shivam. When we understand that, when you grasp that, according to the Shiva yogis, it can be grasped simply by chanting the Panchakshara over and over again, and fixing your attention either in the Hridaya or in the Ajna. When you attain that, then you have freed yourself from the fear of death, because you know that you are not the body. The fear lingers only when I think I am the body, right? And all things associated with my body. What if I realize or I see that I am that Shivam, which in the Nirvana Shataka is referred to as Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. And from that, I have freed myself totally from the stem that holds me to death. Fallen off like a pumpkin, not a good example, pumpkin. People might think you have to become like a pumpkin to fall off. Just an example. This is the meaning of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. So all sadhaks of all categories can chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. When you sit down and chant the Mahamrityunjaya. So, being Shivaratri, I think you should spend time Ratri, in the night. And through your japas turn it into a day. Got it? Now, in half an hour, as I usually do, I'm going to ask somebody to ask me something about what I discussed. You know how, that's how we move forward. This is called the M principle. Talking for a while, ask people if they have anything to say. Get the microphone ready. We have just half an hour, okay? After that we are shifting to the dhuni. And by the time all of you do pranams, I think I'll be taken in a stretcher back to my room anyway. One more thing. You will notice that when you do pranams, you hold the legs, right? You touch the legs. Well, some people hold them and twist them all. That doesn't matter. Sometimes I have to say, like that. So what happens is, the energy that is inside, it flows this way. So, you are hoping to partake of that energy from the feet. It's not anything else. Energy is actually here, but if I say that, they'll all hold my head and do things. Even this is difficult and terrible. So anyway, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Anand.
Pranams Guruji.
Please, I have not coached him to ask questions. Yeah.
Pranams Guruji. Guruji, can chanting you just mentioned be combined with Chakradharana we do in Kriya?
With chanting?
Namah Shivaya Om chanting.
Yes. Now those who have taken Kriya, or practicing Kriya, or have taken and forgotten about it, whatever, they know that there is something called Chakradharana, which means you fix your attention on each chakra for a short time. Chakradharana. While you do it, we have been given the Bijaksharas, Lam, Bam, Ram, etc. What you are asking is if it is possible to do the Panchakshara on the Chakradharana. Yes. How? It will take a little longer time. It might be effective. What is the Bijakshara of the lowest center chakra? Lam. Lam. So, how will you chant the Panch? No. Om Lam Mahashivaratri. Then go to the next center. Om Bam Mahashivaratri. So on you can chant. Then after Ajna Chakra you will run out of it. So simply chant Om Mahashivaratri. When you reach the Sahasrara, just chant Shivoham, Shivoham. Clear? Yes? Keep it with you. He's asking something. Keep the mic.
Pranam, sir. In the morning session, you have told us about the Shiva lightning, wherein Brahmaji and Vishnuji.
From the Purana.
Yeah. So you told that there are 12 Jyotirlings. 12 Jyotirlings.
Yes.
But all the 12 Jyotirlings are in India?
Yes.
How come?
All the 12 Jyotirlingas are in India. Luckily for us.
So that was the question which actually came in my head.
There are some lingas. I don't want to enter into controversies. But not in in one or two places there is the presence of an ancient linga. It's not a Jyotirlinga, but you can call it a Swayambhu because it was not created by human hands. And there is, but I don't want to create problems. Then people will think we have to go there and bring it and then you are in trouble. You won't get oil after that. That's the end. So, in fact, some people there also acknowledge that it is there. I have seen pictures, now broken to pieces and kept inside a silver ring. The thing about lingas which, like Kedarnath happens to be a Jyotirlinga as well as a Swayambhu Linga. So all Jyotirlingas are Swayambhu. There are some Swayambhus which are not Jyotirlingas. However, this is both. Have you been to Kedar? Anybody? Lot of you. Have you gone near and looked at the linga? Does it have any regular shape? No. This again is something which has come from somewhere else. I don't want to make the mischievous suggestion that if you go and take out a piece of it and check, you will find many minerals which are not, many elements which are not existing in the world, in the earth. So the source is somewhere else. So when such a linga happens to come down, then it's called a Swayambhu because it was not made by human hands. It came from somewhere. Either somebody brought it and fixed it there, or while they were coming, the aircraft broke and it fell there. It could be anything. Got it? Here there is one microphone which is ready.
Pranam Guruji. My question is regarding specifically to Mahakaleshwar.
To?
Mahakal.
Mahakal.
Yeah. So this is the only place, as you mentioned, where Bhasma Arati is done in the world. So when we participate in that Arati, females are told to close the eyes. Why is that? Like, is there any specific scientific reason or some mention in our Puranas, or is it some tradition that is being followed?
Nothing is mentioned in the Puranas. Shiva Purana says nothing about it. The Ujjain temple also has its own written records. Nobody says anything. But because women are supposed to be, weak and so on, so they are doing Bhasmarati. In ancient times, to prove that this is Mahakal, to show that this is Mahakal, the ash used was the ash collected from dead bodies, burnt cremation ground. Stop now. Now they have their own ashes. Vibhutis made and then poured. In the olden days, till some years ago, a small part of it always came from the smashan. And then it was mixed and poured. So women are normally, coming, so that's all. There is nothing behind it. If you are brave, you can. Now to nothing is now.
It, or is it okay? Whatever.
Open your eyes and look. Nothing will happen.
Thank you.
But please make sure the priest says close. Then close it. We don't want trouble. See?
Thank you, Guruji.
Somebody. There are many hands going up. Give some, choose some at random. Say Om Namah Shivaya and give it.
Om Namah Shivaya, Babaji. Babaji, can you please repeat that Alom Bilom mantra you Om?
You've taken it so seriously. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hold your right nostril closed. Breathe in through the left. When you breathe in through the left, in your mind, chant the aksharas Om, Vam. They are not supposed to be revealed. I think the time has come slowly, we need to open up. What have you drawn here? Oh, your glasses. Oh, what did I say? Om, Vam. In breath on the left, Ida. Close the Ida and breathe out through the Pingala. Om, Vam. Vaya Namashi. Vaya Namashi. Namashivaya, Vaya Namashi. Do that slowly. आपने कुछ कहा. Somebody is saying something. Narada, what? I can't hear. Please give.
So how is it Vaya Namashi? That's not what is the opposite. But are we supposed to say Vaya Namashi?
Namashivaya. If you put it this way, it should be Ya first, but it is Vaya Namashi.
Then Babaji pranams. Sorry, here. So when we inhale again from the right, so what is the mantra? Is that the same?
Om, Vam.
Yeah.
Vaya Namashi. Om, Vam. Vaya Namashi.
Thank you.
Don't worry too much. Because it's Shivaratri, I was explaining.
Pradam Guruji. Guruji, what is the relevance of the night of Shivaratri and japas?
What is
the
night?
The relevance of
The
the
night
night
of
of Shivaratri and the practices, japas, etc. done tonight.
The night of Shivaratri is supposed to be the day of Shiva. What is night to us is the day to the deity. So it's an awakening of energies on that particular night, which is celebrated throughout the country. So at that time, if you sit down and do your sadhana, it will be very effective. This is why it's called the night of Shiva.
So we should stay awake and do sadhanas all night as much as we can possibly?
As much as you can, if you are not driving back tomorrow yourself.
Thank you.
Pranam Guruji. I want to know about the form of linga. There is a
The what?
form of linga.
Form of the linga.
Why it is so? Because there is a misconception in Western world about the linga.
Oh, okay. So, in Sanskrit, linga simply means a symbol. Linga means symbol. Need not necessarily mean anything else. However, since the male is represented by a phallus, therefore the linga is considered to be in that form and shape. But actually, a linga is not a representative of the human reproductive organ as this is spread in some places. The reason why it is even associated with it is because of Mooladhara, which is the center of all, even sexual activity, lies in that area. It's not as if it's representation of that. Okay? Now, you would notice that a Shivlinga always has a container underneath. This is called the yoni. The yoni also is not, please, a physical organ of a human being. Yoni is the womb of the universe from which everything is produced and everything goes down. But when people don't understand this, this is the nearest thing that they know of. So it has been associated with this. And then there are many people who would like you to think that this is what we are doing. So all this has been circulated for a long time. Actually, it has nothing to do. Linga is complete purity. It's a form of pure. The other meaning of the word linga is a pillar. Can you support any roof or any structure without a pillar? Cannot. Even the pillars that you see in Stonehenge, they're not of the form of any reproductive organ or anything. They're pillars. So pillars, anything that goes up from the ground and supports, is called a linga. So this is what linga actually is. So if anybody, when you go back to Germany, if somebody says it is like this, you say it is not like that. I'm coming from India, I know it. Alles klar? All is clear.
Hello. Sir, namaskar, sir.
She has been impatient for a long... From the time she came in, she has been trying to say something. Yeah.
Sir,
I can't hear you. Can you
sir, I've grown up reading the Puranas and everything. So, we hear of Mahavishnu taking avatars, but why never of Mahadev taking avatars, sir? That's one question. And also, when we hear of Hanumanji being manifest avatars of Shiva, Hanumanji is an avatar of Shiva, Adi Shankaracharya ji is an avatar of Shiva. What does it mean, sir?
But just now you are contradicting us. You said Mahavishnu...
No, sir, because I don't know. Like, why doesn't he come as... When Mahavishnu comes, he comes with the whole retinue. He comes with Sita ji. He marries.
Shiva is a symbol of purity, unearthliness, even though when Shiva is presented, he has a Shakti beside. Starting with Sati down to Parvati, there is always a Shakti of Shiva. You said that Shiva does not... Yes, Shiva also manifests, but not like the Vishnu avatar model of manifestation. Every great yogi is a manifestation of Shiva. Every great yogi is a manifestation. Even a yogi who believes or worships Narayana is still a manifestation of Shiva. And Shiva is a perfect symbol of a yogi, while you will see that none of the avatars of Narayana represent a yogi. Krishna talks about the Gita to Arjuna, becomes a guru only in the Bhagavad Gita. Till then he is doing various other things, right? But Shiva is from the beginning perhaps the oldest representation of divinity that we find. Even in Mohenjo-daro and Harappa they have found symbols of Shiva sitting. So it's a very ancient presentation of the divine. If you say he does not manifest, of course he does, but not in the way that Narayana's manifestations have. That I agree. But all these people, when they are meditating, they are Shiva. When you are reach the stage of complete pure consciousness, you are Shiva, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. You said Shankaracharya is a manifestation. See, this is why they say somebody is a manifestation of Shiva, because he is a great yogi. Not that Shiva is born as Shankara, please make this clear. Shiva is neither born nor does he die. He is, as they say in Kashmir Shaivism, a substitute word, Shivam, for Parabrahman, all-pervading reality. Do we need to go into the genealogies of different avatars? Having said this, you know that in the Himalayas, upper Himalayas, there is Kedarnath, right? When the Kedar temple and the Kedar Linga existed for, nobody knows for how long, there was no Badri then. At that time there was no temple in Badri. And even Badri was called Kedarkhand. Kedarkhand. The manifestation of Narayana in Badri as Badri Narayan comes much later in Kedarkhand. The original is Kedarnath. Okay? Now, you will see if you go to Badri, if at all you are allowed to look at the image, when it is completely without robes, without anything, when you are washing it, when it is clean, being cleaned, you will notice it's only place where Narayana, Sriman Narayana sits in Padmasana as a yogi. Right? Because he is sitting in Kedarkhand, which is the land of the great yogi, Mahayogi, Shiva. So he is also sitting in Padmasana, nowhere else. That's why the Buddhists used to say that, oh, this Buddha, they have converted to Narayana. Not true. Because there is nowhere else you find Narayana sitting like the Yoga Narayana. Since we are on the subject, I want to tell you a little Puranic story connected with Badri and Kedar. It's a story, of course, folklore, but it makes some sense. It is said that when I travel in Uttarakhand and all, I get this folklore from villagers. They like to make a cup of tea for you, sit down and talk. So, my best good friends are all from Uttarakhand. So, story is that once from Kedar, because all that was Kedarkhand at one time, even still is. Shiva and Parvati went for a walk like us. They didn't have a dog, but they went for a walk. So, when they walked, they came near this Badri area. Already, in that place, was Nara Narayan Parvat. It was already a center of pilgrimage. People who came to Kedarkhand also came to Nara Narayan. And some pilgrims had come, and in the rush, one small baby was left behind. A little boy. Story. Now, it was crying. My dad and mom have gone, I don't know what to do, and it was crying badly. So Parvati, being a lady, mother felt very bad for the little child. She told Shiva, shall we take this fellow and keep him with us? Shiva smiled and said, okay. We always do that. We know there is danger, but you can't say anything, right, when you are married. So Shiva said, look, you don't know who this fellow is. You have no idea who this fellow is. But anyway, okay, you say so, we'll do it. So he, not wanting to create problems at home, he agreed. So they took the baby and kept the baby with them in the house, this child. The baby stayed for some time with them. They used to go for walks, feed the baby, look. One day they came back, the baby latched, bolted the door from inside and said, I'm not coming out, this is my home, I'm going to stay here. Parvati said, now what? Shiva said, I told you. That time I told you, this guy is not an ordinary boy, you didn't listen to me. Now let him stay there. Badri Narayan was installed there. This is a folklore from Gadwal, but it makes some sense, right? So, which also shows that Kedarkhand is an ancient place. And it is the first Jyotirlinga, because starting from the north, the last one is in Rameswaram.
Namaskar, sir. First of all, I did not understand how to ask this question. So in the afternoon, I was having a deep sleep, and that question came to my mind.
How did the question come into your mind in deep sleep?
I don't know, Swamiji, Guruji, because this question came to my mind and I woke up.
Okay.
Before I asked the question, 2020, my spiritual journey started, and in Ahmedabad, I was meditating before, but in Ahmedabad, when you initiated me into Kriya, my spiritual progress was enhanced a lot.
I got worried. I thought you said it stopped. Right? Okay.
Enhanced a lot. My question is, when I am into deep meditation, are there entities, some entities, which infuse some kind of negative thoughts around you? For example, in a deeper state of meditation, I'm blissful for a week. It was fantastic. For sometimes some negative thoughts or negative entities, I don't know what it called. Like for example, sudden increase of sexual desires. Sometimes your close people, family members being dead. Close family members being dead. Dying. Financial troubles. So normally what happens is I do the Guru Mantra and ask for help. So I don't go into meditation, I do only the Guru Mantra that week. So my question is, are there such entities which disturb you? If there are, how to protect and move forward?
Okay. May I ask you a question? Do you see any entities? No.
No, I don't see any entities.
So let's rule that out.
So it's a perception, that's why I need some clarity.
So if you saw an entity, then it's a different angle altogether. But you didn't. It's just that your mind is getting...
one thing, something moving maybe. I just close my eyes, some moment, that's it.
So now let me tell you. It is very natural for people who enter into sadhana, especially when it intensifies, that there are such blockages and obstacles coming before you. It's very natural. Those who don't do sadhana have no such problem, because they're not doing anything anyway. When you start, you're swimming against the stream. Everybody is swinging in one way, you're trying to turn around and swim in the opposite direction of the current. Naturally, there will be obstacles, there will be problems. That is the time when we should sit and say, okay, I'm not going to let go of this, I'm going to move forward. I will not get defeated, I need to win. One. Especially when you are working on the Shushumna Nadi and your chakradharana, there is a possibility that sometimes your sexual desires might increase. Don't take the microphone. Might increase. Now please understand, the greatest of yogis also had this problem, including the fellow sitting in front of you. There is nobody who can be free when it happens. But then some people give up. Some people hold on and say, let me move forward. So, hold on. There should be a dhrida vishwasa that I am going to move forward. I am not going to. Then it washes off. If you get frightened or allow yourself to weaken, then you cannot move forward. Even the greatest of yogis have had this problem. Would you think, for instance, that Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had this problem? I had, of course, but forget me. You wouldn't think so, right? You also had this problem. There was this gentleman who was meditating and practicing and so on, but who could not move forward mainly because very often he was obsessed with sexual thoughts, lust. Now he thought, how will I ask this holy man? I can't even talk to him about this because he's so holy and so pure. How will I? Many times he met him, he did not talk to him, he couldn't open his mouth. He said, to this man, what will I say? Who looks so clean and pure. One day he saw Ramakrishna Thakur standing near the river, alone, looking like this. He thought, now nobody is there, let me go, I have to do this. So he went to him, touched his feet and said, Thakur, this is what is happening to me. Why? He was shocked by the response. He put his hands around his shoulders and he said, you know what, it happened to me also once upon a time. It requires a saint to do that, you see. So therefore, when you have a problem like that, you should be patient, should handle it. Even if you succumb to it, get back and start redoing. Okay? No, I'm saying, no, whatever bank balance your sadhana has created remains plus high interest with you. You don't have to start with square one. You will again start with square 2 or 3. So, rest assured on that matter. Also part of this. So don't think there are some entities hovering around. Of course, entities are hovering around here also, but they hover around everywhere. So what do you do about this? Ganesh, don't worry, they are not there. He got up, I thought he was going to run. Secret. Oh, okay.
I read it somewhere that when you are into deep meditation and spiritual progressing is going fast, there is something negative entity which pulls down. I read it somewhere. I'm not sure about it. So
don't discard. Chant the Guru mantra. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. If at all something like that is there, they will retire. Don't worry.
Pranam Guruji. Guruji this side. Pranam. Guruji, since you have travelled to several realms outside the earth and the physical realm.
Have I?
Sir, Guruji, I'll just ask you a question. Have you visited and understood what is beyond the black hole? Because the recent images that have come up for the black hole represents or resembles the Shivalinga. And have you travelled what is there beyond the black hole?
Not allowed to discuss. Not for a gathering like
Pranam Guruji.
Let me tell you, rest assured that there are realms outside this ordinary world. Okay. can you think even that this Bhuloka is the only thing that exists? Is this possible in this wide universe? Just one small corner, nothing. So when you go there and come back and look here, the things which people in this world call splendor and wealth, nothing. Do they have as much as Kuber? No. One more question and we stop.
Pranam
Now I
Guruji.
have to choose between you. Where is the microphone?
Pranam Guruji. I just wanted to ask
Sorry.
you a small question regarding the Kriya Pranayam. Can we, if there is a paucity of time, can it be split and carry on from there in some other part of the day? Or it has to be done in one go only?
If you have less time, don't start doing the whole Kriya. Keep it away for some time. Just do the small little practice called Hum Saw. Do the Guru Mantra. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Okay? After doing Guru Mantra, just sit down and do the Hum Saw. I taught you Hum Saw, right? When you breathe in, chant Hum in your mind. When you breathe out, chant Saw in your mind. The exhalation, Rechak Purak, only Hum Saw. Keep doing that. You save time.
You mean to say that full exercise has to be done, all the part of the Kriya has to be done in one go?
Better. Because it's like, you can't split and do Kriya after. Either do it fully or do Hum Saw and stop for the day. When you get time, the next time you can do the Kriya. No harm.
Thank you so much, sir.
I think we'll stop now. Sorry. You shouldn't have come back to India anyway. Now she'll think seriously, I'm joking. So let's go enjoy now the bliss of Shiva. Let's turn the dhuni on. Oh, sorry, we have meditation. See how I live, I have no idea what is happening next. Which is nice. Otherwise, unnecessarily, when you go to Calcutta, you have to think of the IIM, then you go to IIM, you have to think of Calcutta, all kinds of things. It's out of my head. So, how do we meditate? What were we doing for the last 2 days? Chant Om 3 times and then just meditate. Now that you have heard so much, meditate in what appeals to you, in whichever way you want. But start by chanting Om 3 times the pranava with me and then do your own meditation. By now you would have worked out something, right? There's a linga sitting here, something. Silently chanting or whatever you want. Okay? Okay. Shall we chant Om? Start. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.